What a nice song to have for the start of my Market Street bike ride. Today I'm riding from the ferry building all the way to Castro Street. And right away we start with this space pretty close to the Muni tracks. There's this one block up here where you kind of have to ride right where the Muni tracks are. So I'm kind of squeezed onto the edge here and even have a little conflict with a pedestrian right here because he's so close to the edge. But I should be getting over to the middle because there's really bad pavement right up here too. Yeah, here we go. Don't forget to always cross that 45-degree angle on the train tracks. If you notice that guy on the e-scooter was pretty dangerously close to parallel on the tracks, so he made it this time, but you might get in a crash eventually if you keep crossing that close to parallel. If you like these random tidbits of advice, please like and subscribe to this channel. So this is during rush hour, about 6 p.m. So you'll see lots of commuters on bikes, e-scooters, and all sorts of other electric widgets that people have now. The car restrictions haven't been put in place yet, so I filmed this before January 29th, 2020, which is when Market Street should go car-free east of 10th Street and between Van Ness and Embarcadero in the westbound direction. Usually I'm not riding Market Street at this time during rush hour, so I don't encounter that many private vehicles, but I was surprised to see so many. So as you saw, we all tried to squeeze by all the traffic until somebody encountered a bus they couldn't go by. Sometimes you'll see people get impatient and get on the edge of the sidewalk, but not today. So here I'm taking the lane, making sure that none of the cars are trying to pass me. Oh, and here was an awkward moment. There was a bus to my left that I thought was going to pass me, but he actually decided to turn right, so let me go ahead. This is Sansom Street, which is actually a pretty good street to bike on because it's pretty limited car traffic. It's just hard to get onto Sansom Street when you're coming inbound on Market Street because there's not a good turn. Hopefully SFMTA adds some kind of bike box so that people can turn over there. Oh, so here I'm trying to go around everybody on the left side because I can see there's no room on the right. It's a tight fit, trying to make that green light. Even though not recommended to go over these grates. So this grate that I went over, you kind of had these squares, so you won't really fall in. But some of the grates on Market Street are more parallel, kind of like the railroad tracks, and your tires can fall in. But I think that there's only a couple like that. Anyway, I missed the green light anyway, but at least I got to the front of the back of cars. Because this is a T-stop, you'll see a lot of people running the red light because it's kind of victimless if there are no pedestrians. However, I don't like it when people try to weave through the pedestrians while they're there because it kind of just like scares everybody. Or this too, like these people should be waiting behind the crosswalk. It's definitely, the walk symbol is there. You don't want to block the crosswalk, but I don't know. happy to go in the crosswalk when the light's like about to turn green and there are no pedestrians, but when you have a big group of commuters, everybody just wants to go faster. So this is nice, starting to collect a big peloton of bikes, so you don't really have to worry about people trying to pass. Here's another awkward moment. Somebody decides they want to try and squeeze in with this bus here, and the bus is like, can I make it? So finally they stop. There's a lot of conflict here. Hopefully that kind of thing will be fixed with the Better Market Street like full project, when there's a on sidewalk bike lane for everyone. And so it will kind of prevent this bus-bike conflict as well. Just a lot of cars. You can see they're definitely going no faster than me. I can make it down Market Street way faster than all these cars, especially during rush hour. So here's a common problem of everybody blocking the box here. People couldn't fit, but they decided they were going to fit anyway. Fortunately, as a bicycle, you can just weave through all of the people who miscalculated. Here's a guy on one of these one-wheels unicycles. I've actually ridden one before, but it's pretty hard. Big learning curve, not like riding a bike. I didn't feel quite as safe going higher speeds, like 20 miles an hour. But one thing that's cool is it is completely hands-free. Okay, so I'm stuck on all the bumps here, but I wanted to get around this bus. Again, people blocking the box. So you can see this truck parked loading here, and this shouldn't be happening once the Market Street improvements are in place, because they have restrictions for loading on certain sides during rush hour. For example, in the outbound direction, there should be no loading between 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. on weekdays. And then in the inbound direction, going the other way, there should be no loading allowed from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. during the morning commute. So here's a person in a Jeep who's in a big rush because they are driving on Market Street at rush hour. And instead of getting far ahead, he just has to stop and wait for us to go around him. It would be easier for everyone if he just slowed down. And now he keeps inching forward like he's gonna get in the space, but just makes it hard for me to get through. But I made it, leaving him in the dust. So I decided not to go around on the bus side. So in this place, at least, there's a space for the bikes to wait across the crosswalk. They don't have to stop in the crosswalk. But if you cross the crosswalk like this and essentially fill up the bike box here, then people who are on 7th Street trying to get to the bike box have kind of less space to go. So it's preferable, again, to wait behind the crosswalk. I think we have a nice view of City Hall over here, too, at sunset. There it is. Each intersection is a new obstacle course. I think this one is just worth waiting for. And since we're almost at 8th Street, we are almost at the protected bike lane. So since Embarcadero, pretty much, there's kind of been this 2-lane thing where one is a bus lane and one is kind of this shared lane. And all of the private autos already ignored the bus restrictions anyway. But starting at 8th Street here, we have a protected bike lane on the side as well. So let's see. Oh yeah, and here's a little turn from Grove that it was part of the short-term improvements that has already been implemented. So it kind of prevents the cars from turning right onto Market here. So this bike lane is way nicer. Feels way better, less conflict. Of course, up here, everybody blocks the bike lane because they don't understand that you should keep this clear. But yeah, I give them a little bike bell reminder to please keep the bike lane clear. I think we would benefit from some more signage that reminds people to keep clear. I feel like people follow those keep clear on the street most of the time. And like that guy, you can always ride in the street if you want to. That's certainly a legal option. I think officially the rules say there have to be some kind of obstacle in the bike lane. But I guess you could say the obstacle is all of the other bikers crowding the bike lane, because there are a lot of them during rush hour. And if you're going as fast or faster than the cars, which most of these Market Street blocks you are, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's not like you're slowing down traffic. So now we've passed Van Ness. Private autos would again be allowed here after the short-term improvements. I think that they're going to, so here's 12th Street. They're going to extend the auto restrictions to 12th Street once the whole Better Market Street is implemented, but I think that might not be for a couple more years. I'm happy to see some of these new Bay Wheels electric bikes. That guy just took off on one. They feel pretty fast. So here's a crosswalk where it's a little less important that you don't block it because there aren't as many pedestrians. I do think that a lot of these are case-by-case basis. On the other part of Market Street, where there's like tons of pedestrians all the time, you really shouldn't be blocking it. But something like this one with not much there, if nobody's there, kind of not a big issue. And I like the curb because I can kind of stand on the edge of the curb. This guy's just completely running the red line. So up here on Valencia, they have a cool turn lane. So you actually get in the right part of this lane and then wait if you want to turn to Valencia. I'm getting in the left because I'm going straight. And then you can wait there for a special bike signal, which is pretty cool. But sometimes there are cars who run the red light there because they don't really notice it. It's not super clear sometimes. And sometimes it's easier to just get in the car lane at the intersection before and just turn left like a car. I write a little bit about the different ways to turn left on my website. Check that out. And it's perfectly legal to turn left like a car and leave the bike lane, or stay in the bike lane and wait for that red light. So you can do whichever one is most convenient. Sometimes because of the timing of the lights, I don't go to the bike lane one because then I'd miss the whole light cycle. I like this light that this person has on their helmet. I write a bunch about alternative lights so you don't have to take them on and off of your bicycle. And this Lumos helmet is pretty cool, and it also integrates with blinkers. So you can find that on one of my website posts as well about locking lights. This is also where the hill starts. We're kind of going to go up a hill all the way to the top and then down and up again. But they're pretty mild hills. So there's one part of this bike lane right here that is kind of a bummer. It gets kind of awkwardly small, right here, when everybody's turning. But I think to fix that, they would have had to bring out the jackhammers and take away some curb. Here's another weird, small bike lane area. Yeah, none of this past Van Ness here is going to be changed, even for the Better Market Street plan. So if you're taking the wiggle, here is the entrance. Kind of go over to the right here and down this little path behind the Safeway. But I'm going to go all the way to the Castro today. This is also kind of the top of the hill. Yeah, so I waited for that light because I think the next light is most likely going to be red. No point in running the red light just to stop at the next one. this is easy to kind of ride with the cars because it's all downhill and you don't really have to, you're going kind of the same speed as everybody. I know. So the car that was like behind me just kept kind of creeping up and like getting pretty close to me. But yeah, I was just not gonna let it get to me. So this is one of these intersections with like 6 different roads because all 3 are crossing at the same time. So I actually don't know whose turn it is quite, but I was pretty sure it was mine. Yeah. But I didn't want to completely cross before I made sure it was my green. And then you have a bike lane again for this like small uphill part. The bike lane does need to be bigger so that even the bikes can pass each other. So again, this is a really busy intersection, so the lights are red everywhere for a long time, letting people like finish making it through the intersection. I like these parallel bike racks. I haven't really seen those before. Good way to make use of like a small amount of street space. So by the time you're over here at Upper Market, there's like more room for the cars and the cars are going a bit faster, so I'm kind of staying as far to the right as I can to kind of avoid the noise and speed, whatever, while also staying out of the door zone. Yeah, past Castro, Market Street is just 2 lanes and it starts going uphill pretty steeply all the way to Twin Peaks. If you wanted to go over there, there are like other side streets that I'd recommend to go up the hill. And I've done that before, it's pretty nice. But here I am at Castro Street in the Castro neighborhood. I'll get off my bike here and walk the rest of the way just to get a good view of the Castro Theater sign. Thanks for watching my Market Street outbound ride. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And let me know in the comments if you want to see any other rides. Ciao.